My husband charged his phone to 100% before every single work trip. For 3 years, I thought that was just him being careful. Then I opened the family map and saw 11 pins. Every trip he ever took ended at the same house, a house 40 minutes from ours. I'm going to tell you whose house it was. But first, you need to know the tiny thing that gave him away. His name was Daniel. We had been married for 9 years. He sold medical equipment, so travel was normal. Conferences, regional accounts. A Thursday to Sunday in another state never raised a single eyebrow. I packed his bag. I printed his boarding passes. Without knowing it, I had become the perfect alibi for my own husband. The first clue was so small, I almost laughed at it. Daniel would fly to Phoenix in summer and come home with mud on his shoes. Not airport dirt, wet, dark soil, the kind you only get from a lawn. I told myself he must have walked through a garden somewhere. I told myself a lot of things back then. What actually broke it open was our daughter. Her tablet was linked to the family account so we could find it when it slipped under the couch. One evening she held it up and asked me why Daddy's little dot was at the gray house again. I froze. Then I looked, and there it was, a map, a history, a pin dropped on a quiet street, going back further than I wanted to scroll. It was not an airport. It was not a hotel. It was a house. And the dates lined up with every trip he had ever taken. So here is the question that kept me awake that night. If he wasn't where he said he was, then who was he with? I did not confront him. People always ask me why, and the answer is simple. I had a daughter, a mortgage, and not one piece of proof that could survive him looking me in the eyes and calling me crazy. Daniel was very, very good at making me feel crazy. So I did something colder. I waited for the next trip. He told me he was flying to Denver on the 14th. I drove him to the airport myself. I watched him walk through the glass doors with his suitcase and his fully charged phone. Then I parked in the cell phone lot, and I watched the little dot on my screen. It never boarded a plane. 40 minutes later, it stopped at the gray house. So now I had to decide, did I want to know what was inside, or did I want to keep pretending? I drove there. I am not proud of it, but I drove there. His car sat in the driveway, and behind it was a second car, a small blue sedan with a child's booster seat strapped into the back. A booster seat. That was the moment the floor fell out from under me. Because an affair is something that happens to a marriage. A booster seat is something that happens to a whole second life. I sat across that street and I made a decision. I need you to hear clearly. I was not going to scream. I was not going to cry on his shoulder and beg him for the truth. I was going to find out exactly how big this was, first. Because you cannot fight what you have not measured. And I had a feeling this was much bigger than one house. So I went looking. I pulled the credit card statements I had never once read. The charges I had always assumed were hotels were not hotels. They were a grocery store near the gray house, a pediatric dentist near the gray house, a children's clothing shop 3 towns over from anywhere he claimed to be. Daniel had not been cheating on weekends. He had been raising someone there, and every dollar of it had come out of the account I believed was ours. But the worst part wasn't the money. The worst part was the phone call I was never supposed to receive. It came on a Saturday morning. A woman asked for Daniel by his full name, and when I said he wasn't home, she paused, and she asked me something I will never forget. She asked if I was the cleaner. She thought I was the cleaner. In my own house. So I made a choice in that half second. I kept my voice flat, and I said yes. And she talked. She talked for 4 straight minutes because she had absolutely no idea who I was. She told me Daniel was behind on the payments for the house. She told me he had promised her the divorce would be final by spring. The divorce. From me. A divorce I had never heard a single word about. So now I understood the shape of it, but I still did not understand how he thought he would ever get away with it. Then it clicked. He had told her I was already gone. He had told her we were separated, that I had moved in with my mother, that our house was being sold. To this woman, I was a loose end, a problem being quietly tidied up. To me, he was the man who had kissed me goodbye that very morning. We were two women living inside two completely different lies, told by the same man, and only one of us could see both. So I made her an offer. I told her everything. Every date, every charge, every lie I had just discovered I was living in. And when she stopped shaking, I told her that if she ever wanted to stop being lied to, she should meet me on a Thursday. The next time Daniel flew to Denver, because I had a plan, and the plan needed both of us. Now, I want to be very clear about what I did not do. I did not key his car. I did not burn anything down. Revenge that lands you on the wrong side of a courtroom is not revenge. It is just a second disaster on top of the first. What I did was quiet, and it was permanent. First, I copied everything. The location history, the statements, the screenshots of those 4 minutes I had written down word for word. I sent all of it to an email he didn't know existed. Then I booked the best family lawyer in our county, not only because she was the best, but because hiring her meant Daniel never could. Second, the other woman and I compared notes. Her name was Rachel. She was not a villain. She was just another person he had lied to, and she was furious in the exact same way I was. Together, we finally had the one thing Daniel had bet his whole life we would never have. The complete picture, both timelines, both sets of receipts, the full map of a man who was certain no one would ever drive to the gray house. And there was one more thing he had forgotten. On the next so-called Denver Thursday, I did not drive him to the airport. I told him I had a meeting and that he would have to take a cab. He kissed me. He told me he loved me. He rolled his suitcase out the door with his fully charged phone. He arrived at the gray house at 6:14, and at 6:20, 2 things happened at the very same minute. He was served divorce papers on Rachel's doorstep, standing in front of Rachel, who already knew every word. And the joint accounts he had been quietly draining were frozen by the order my lawyer had filed that morning. He had spent 3 years building a second life on one single assumption, that the 2 women inside it would never, ever speak to each other. He was wrong, by exactly 1 phone call. Daniel kept neither house in the end. The marriage closed on my terms, with my proof, in front of my lawyer. Rachel and I are not friends, not exactly. But twice a year she sends me a message that simply says, "Thank you." And every time, I send it right back. Because loyalty is a gift. It is not a blindfold. And the people who lie for a living are counting on you to be too loyal to ever check. If you think this is where it ended, you do not know what Daniel tried 6 months later, when he finally found out where the money had actually gone. That story is worse. So subscribe, and I will tell you exactly what he did when he realized he had already lost.